Instagram has got me thinking about magic, mainly because a lot of magic on Instagram is completely angle proof and completely burnable is the term we'd use, but it's completely unnatural. There's a trick that so many magicians love to do where they turn over a card and one is touched in the pack, and then they do some fucking unnatural bollocks here, and basically the card ends up underneath the face-up card and then some kind of change happens. The move looks so unnatural, there's so much of this going on. But we can't deny that the move is burnable, it's completely angle-proof the way we're watching it anyway, there's no flashes visible. I've been thinking, can sleight of hand be done in the complete reverse, where a movement looks awful, a movement looks really exposed, but when done in a way that is completely natural to the way the hands move and the cards move, it becomes covered. So a prime example of this is the jinx switch. The 7 of hearts, and it's changed. Now if someone's really watching the pack, they can see exactly what's going on here. But in the natural course of the hands, coming together, you shifting body position, you can get away with it. In fact, you can more than get away with it. It becomes a staple of sleight of hand, a solid, usable piece of sleight of hand. Now, you could make the argument that every piece of sleight of hand really has this factor built into it. It must be done naturally for it to be done well. But I'm wondering if you could even do moves that really you shouldn't be able to do. Moves that are so exposed and in the open, but that when done with a natural start and end point, just almost become lost in the middle of that. So here's an example. Based on the jinx switch, a card is selected, in this case the 5 of clubs, which goes about halfway down into the middle of the pack, and it's controlled. So if someone's watching this too closely, I've got 2 there, if someone's watching this too closely, they'll see that the move is very illogical, but it's done as the hands almost come up, as there's a raising of the body, as their eyes follow the hands and follow the movement. This doesn't feel unnatural. There's one card in one hand, and then there's one card in one hand. It's the same image before and after, and there's no sleight in the middle of it. The sleight is seamless. It's just placing one card on, taking another one off. Another way you could do this technique is by having someone call stop on the 10 of diamonds, and it's controlled. And if the before, the pushing the cards here, perfectly matches the taking to the top, maybe you'd have to mimic the thumb or the fingers in some capacity. So here, the fingers are being moved to take. The card is shown, and I'd ram on top, but I'd still move the fingers as though I'd taken underneath. So again, out of your peripheral, as I'm just casually leaning back, someone calls stop, that's the card. I think as well, because the show is so different to then this take, it hides the movement. We'll take this to the extreme. Here's something that I've been playing with. Now when I show you this move just off the cuff here, it'll look rubbish. So watch the 6, just leave your hand out flat, and it's changed. Now from that burnable perspective, you can see exactly what's going on here. So you've turned over a double, leave your hand flat. This bottom card is levering the top card. But here's the thing, if you do this move as you're looking straight ahead, so that it's just happening in this sort of lower periphery, the move looks great. The move looks really good. I've asked laymen what they think, and while they're looking at me and I do this turnover, so the move is underneath their line of vision, it looks like you just do this. And in fact, if you incorporate a sort of a coming away from the deck, it looks as though it almost never touched the deck. So you could have a double here. Just leave your hand out flat for me, and it changes. I'm sure there are a lot of different moves and techniques you can exploit with this idea. And maybe, in an ideal world, everything I'm doing is completely natural, but completely fake and completely false. And there's even some merit to the fact that if they were to scrutinize anything you're doing, they'd see right through it. But the overall haze, the overall veneer that you're presenting is just normal movement.